want to shake, rattle and roll. I want to feed this traveling soul. And if I try, won't be that bad. I want to spread my dirty wings. I want to shake the dust off things. And if I cry, can't be that bad.
Can I ask why you're here today?
I'm here because I want to stand up for women's right to choose how and when they birth.
Why am I down here today? Because I suffered a traumatic birth due to a lack of informed consent.
To raise an awareness for obstetric violence that goes on daily in our hospitals.
Good, how about you?
And for the most part, it just keeps going on and nothing's being done about it.
Yeah, I was actually a victim of defensive medicine, and I'm a little bit upset by that.
I'm passionate about women being allowed to have consent over being able to govern what happens to their body. And I think that hospitals, they already have the protocol set in place, they just need to follow it. And when they don't follow it, I think they need to be held accountable. When I went through my birth trauma, there was nobody really to help me. No other mom, no other doctor, midwife, nurse. Nobody had any help to offer me, so I had to do all the searching myself. And so I'm passionate about connecting with other moms to help them find healing so that they don't feel like they have to walk this road alone.
I'm a survivor of severe birth trauma and abuse, so I just want to make a stand. It's part of my healing, and it's just wrong, and it needs to stop.
It seems that the hospital is a little bit upset with you for being here. What would you say about that?
Why should they be? We pay for it with our tax dollars, and we're peaceful people, we're nice people, we're not breaking any laws, and we're actually very open to dialogue. So if they want to come and talk to us, we'd be happy to. I'm all for dialogue.
I guess I chose this sign because I really feel like what happened to me was violent and it wasn't my choice. And so I guess that's why I'm passionate about when something is done against your choice, it is a form of violence. And I'm all about stopping that.
I'd like to raise awareness about obstetric violence against birthing women and hopefully lead to some positive changes in the birthing system. And also provide women with some form of protection against such violence and against defensive medicine in the form of protection of their human rights.
And the sign that you're holding has spurred a lot of controversy. What do you have to say about that?
I have been complaining to the hospital about what happened to me for more than a year, and the hospital has never responded in any meaningful way. And he's never shown any attention to what I have to say. The first time they showed any attention to what I had to say was when I put this sign out naming the names of the people who were part of my birth trauma. And I found that quite encouraging. So I found that that's the one thing I could do because my complaints couldn't do anything. So I'm going to be doing this until something happens.
In the last few years, I've tried to work with the medical system, like by asking them to have meetings with me and taking brochures and saying, would you please give this to the women leaving your hospital? And while the meetings have been pleasant, they haven't been extremely productive. So I feel like these rallies are a little bit more obvious and a little bit more of, there's almost more of an urgent response needed on the part of the medical community.
Nobody wants to take responsibility for it. I have complained, I have gone to patient quality control numerous times. I don't get any, I just get lip service, I get form letters. Nobody's really doing anything about it. Nobody really cares. Basically, I have letters that state, we're sorry that you felt you had a bad experience. This is just, it's a bunch of crap, and it needs to stop, and it really makes me angry because it did not have to happen.
Listen, sister.
Why are you here today?
Because I like women in the sun.
Like Crystal's a pretty prominent doula and childbirth educator, so childbirth is pretty near and dear to our hearts.
I'm here because I work as a birth doula. So women having the opportunity to have positive and healthy birth experiences is something that is really important to me.
And can I ask why you're here today?
I want to help more moms and babies have peaceful birth experiences like I experienced.
So you had what kind of birth did you have?
I had a home birth, yeah, and it was beautiful and very peaceful, and whether birthing at home or in the hospital, I'd love to see more hands-off births where the mom's wishes are respected and babies are coming into the world more peacefully.
I had 2 of my children born here in BC Women's Hospital, and the last one was a home birth because I didn't want to repeat the same trauma. Well, actually, the first one was really good. I was really happy with the experience. Everybody was treating me really well. The second one was a bit upsetting, and things were out of my control. Like things were done that I was not wanted to be done, and I knew were not necessary. So yeah, it's personal that you're here then. Yes, personal and professional. Yeah, the doula clients that I've supported.
Through my work as a doula, I've seen a lot of births that I think could have gone a lot better, and I think there are a lot of policies that are currently practiced within institutionalized birth that could be changed to allow women to walk away from their births feeling like they were positive and good experiences.
I'm a doula and a childbirth educator. I started doing that after the birth of my first son. I had not the birth that I was hoping for, but it really gave me a lot of strength to make a lot of changes in my life, and it kind of led me down that path.
There are different groups of women. Some women really want all the decisions to be made for them, and they really want, all the medical management of birth. But not all women want that, and I've seen a lot of doctors who impose that on women, and then women feel really upset about that. And then the doctor says, well, it doesn't matter about your experience as long as you have a healthy baby. But that's complete BS. It absolutely does matter, because those things are, the way that the women are treated are completely unnecessary. You do not have to be brutal in order to have a safe, healthy outcome. And it doesn't mean that if you're using all these medical things that the woman doesn't want, that it's necessarily going to have a safe outcome.
I would also like hospitals to make issues like informed consent and transparency in healthcare a priority. A big reason why women end up walking away from their births feeling traumatized is because they feel like they were not properly informed about what they were getting themselves into, and they weren't given the opportunity to give true informed consent when procedures or decisions were made about their bodies and their births and their babies. There are informed consent laws and policies in place, but they're not always adhered to or practiced the way that they're meant to be, and I think that is a really serious problem that needs to be given priority.
And I feel safer at home than in the hospitals with the current procedures and things that are happening around birth.
I definitely had a much different birth experience this time around. I had a completely hands-on birth experience that I got to follow my body and my process completely. and birth my baby without anyone else's intervention. No one even touched my son other than my husband and I for the first 2 hours of his life. And it was an amazing experience, and I would love for every woman to be able to have that.
So for those people who want to be in the hospital or have to be in the hospital for high-risk problems, they need to be able to trust that their wishes are going to be respected if they want to have natural birth or make informed choices.
Medical staff are trained in technological and managed birth, and that's what they're comfortable with, that's what they know. Most hospital staff have never seen a completely intervention-free birth, and I would just like hospitals to be honest about that. Honest with women about the fact that when they choose hospital birth, they're choosing to birth with people who are only comfortable with managed technological birth that's heavily monitored. If women know that and they choose to birth in the hospital, that's fine, that's their choice, but they deserve to have that information before they walk in the door.
Listen, sister, you know how I feel, yeah. Listen, sister, you know how I feel, yeah. Listen, sister, you know how I feel, yeah. Listen, sister, you know how I feel. And what's real is not scary, oh yeah.
I hope that they start taking these things seriously and not pushing it aside as it doesn't matter about the woman's experience as long as she has a healthy baby, because it really does matter. It affects women for years. It affects, postpartum stress disorder, postpartum depression, and it affects them for years. Like, it affects them for the rest of their lives.
And why do you think the hospital's trying to kick us off their property?
Well, because nobody likes to be questioned, right? Everybody thinks that they're doing a great job, and we make people uncomfortable. Challenging the status quo makes people uncomfortable and always has made people uncomfortable. And the medical field has a lot of status in our culture.
Would you change your life? Could you brave the anger and strife? Would you speak when no one dares to say what is true? Sister, we are stronger than we know. I want to fight.